All right, you guys. What's up? What's up? Welcome in, everybody. This is DJ Vader, aka Darth Chaiwala, aka with this on. What's everybody up to today? Hope everybody's doing well. This is gonna be episode 6 today of Mental Health Monday. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm gonna let everybody get settled in here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hey, look at that. Dulcie with number 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Welcome in. What's up? What's up, Haren? Mims, what's up? Welcome in. Welcome in. Justin, what's up? What's up? All right, you guys. So we're gonna let everybody kind of get situated and filter in here, and we'll go ahead and get started with tonight's episode. Hope everybody has had a good day so far. I know for a lot of us, it's kind of officially cold again. So, hope everybody's staying warm. Welcome in, everybody. Yes, I agree, Haren. Winter needs to leave. What's up? What's up? Yes, that is Mims. Little sis. Choti Ben, yes, of course. Smoked hair. That's funny. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So, we're going to start today's episode with addressing the specific kind of discomfort that shows up when you don't know what's next. It's not crisis, it's not panic, it's just uncertainty. And for a lot of us, that feeling alone is enough to make us rush into decisions, explanations, or plans that we're not actually ready for. So tonight, it's about learning how to sit with the unknown without basically letting it get to you. Welcome back to Mental Health Mondays, you guys. As always, this space exists for honest conversations about mental health, healing, and what it means to keep going, even when clarity hasn't arrived yet. Tonight, we're talking about uncertainty. Not fixing it, not resolving it, but learning how to stay present inside of it. JSK Kamala. Kamala. Um, so depending on how uncertainty can take different forms, right? So for example, right now, uncertainty can feel, say, heavy, unsettling, quiet, open, frustrating, or neutral. Um, for me, uncertainty feels uncomfortable. Um, it's not a dangerous feeling, nor is it an unfamiliar feeling. It's just kind of like that nagging kind of feeling, you know. So we're taught that not knowing is a problem. You know, that if you're unsure of something, even uncertainty in any form means that something is wrong. Um, but for many of us, uncertainty isn't danger. It's just that space between chapters. Oh, it's okay, Priya. No rush. I was a little bit late getting started today. Respects. um, so tonight we're just talking about how to sit in that space, right? So the space that we create, we're gonna talk about how to sit in that space without rushing to escape. Um, and we're gonna break down the word uncertainty and why it feels so uncomfortable. Um, Uncertainty doesn't just make us uncomfortable. It often activates something much deeper. Because we as humans at our core are wired to look for predictability, essentially patterns, right? I mean, signals that tell us that we're safe. So when we don't know what's next, the body doesn't register that as neutral. It often reads as a potential threat. Um, and if you've lived through instability, inconsistency, or long periods of stress, uncertainty is one of those loud voices that we can't, unfortunately, turn down. And it's not necessarily that something bad is happening. It's it's that your system is just on high alert. Um, and then that's why uncertainty can show up as restlessness. That's why we, end up tossing and turning at night. We get these late night answers that to questions that we didn't even know that were floating around in our head. In the form of overthinking, right? I mean, we stay up at night trying to figure out where we went wrong. The urge to explain ourselves, the urge to decide something, anything really, just to make that feeling stop. Um, and we also then tend to confuse uncertainty with failure, right? I mean, it's like one of those situations that, hey, if I don't know something yet, I just haven't reached my destination. I must be behind. Um, if I don't have clarity, then I don't know enough about this, so I must not be doing this right. But as I mentioned before, not knowing doesn't mean you're off track. It oftentimes means you're in a transition, right? It's kind of that middle ground, that's that loading space where things are still forming. And and transitions are, as I mentioned before, uncomfortable by nature. Nobody likes change, right? And not because you're failing, but because you're no longer where you were, right? You have to bring yourself to be this new person every day. And so when we have to do a about face, so to speak, it kind of makes us put that pause. It kind of makes us feel out of place, right? For a lot of us, uncertainty feels unsafe because it reminds us of times when we had to figure things out on our own. Exactly. I don't like changes. I change things. That's exactly the mentality, right? We don't like changes happening around us. We want to be the change, right? So naturally what happens then is the body kind of embraces itself. It kind of just, the mind starts to race. Um, and then we begin to mistake that feeling of discomfort as a dangerous situation, kind of like this mini threat almost, that hey, we don't want to go through this again, we don't want to go back through the time that we had to survive without stability, not because something is wrong, but because it's like we're trying to protect ourselves. Your system is trying to protect you. And once we understand why uncertainty feels so uncomfortable, the next thing to notice is what we tend to do with that discomfort. Um, because most of us don't just sit with uncertainty, right? We react to it, right? We look for something, either in the form of a decision, a plan, uh, or a label, right, that will make the feeling go away, right? And that's where we begin to rush. The urge to rush comes in, right? So let's talk about what happens when that feeling of uncertainty shows up, and how we try to escape it instead of staying with it. Haren says, not wanting to go back to the past. Yes. Because here's the thing: if we keep, if we keep dwelling on the past, it's going to hinder our progress, right? And that's going to lead to more uncertainty, because it's just going to keep adding to this brain fog. And so here's one way we can approach it, right? We can either choose to sit in it, or we can resolve it, right? Once this feeling shows up, most of us don't really sit with it for very long. We feel it, and almost immediately we try to resolve it. We look for answers, decisions, explanations. Not because we're acting out of impulse, but in this situation, it's because this feeling of uncertainty is making us uncomfortable, and the only thing that can make this feeling subside is that brief moment of clarity. So we end up rushing, right? We end up making decisions too fast. We latch onto plans that don't really fit. We say yes to things that we're not fully aligned with, just so we don't have to sit in the unknown. And in the moment, that can feel grounding, but that's when hindsight kicks in too, right? It's one of those things that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have rushed into this, because clarity that's rushed usually isn't clarity that's true. It's clarity borrowed from fear, pressure, or comparison. Good afternoon, Geets. For a lot of us, rushing clarity is a learned response, right? It's something that it's choosing something just to choose, rather than choosing because it's right. We're kind of rushing to get things done because it feels right, because if we do this is a check that we can be like, all right, I did this, now I can move on. And if you've ever had to figure things out quickly to stay safe, to stay stable, or to avoid conflict, your system learned that deciding fast equals protection. So it's it's a conditioned response. So now when uncertainty shows up, your body is going into problem solving mode when there isn't a problem to solve, right? And that's when we oftentimes confuse movement with progress. Because doing something feels better than doing nothing, even if that something pulls us away from ourselves. But here's how I've kind of reframed myself. Not choosing yet, and the key word being yet, is still a choice. And sometimes it's the most respectful one you can make for yourself. Because letting things stay unclear for a little while doesn't necessarily mean you're stuck, right? It means you're giving yourself time to listen. To listen to your body, to your values, to what actually feels aligned, to basically center yourself, right? To kind of capture the moment where you are. And so that way you can say, all right, you know what? I have more clarity. And as I mentioned before, right, clarity rushed is often clarity borrowed. And borrowed clarity often has a way of falling apart later, right? And when we don't rush to fill the space, when we don't immediately reach for answers or decisions, what we're left with is the part that we usually avoid, and that's the unknown. And that's the part that most of us struggle with, because sitting with uncertainty doesn't just mean not choosing, it means staying present without guarantees. So let's talk about what it actually looks like to stay there, to basically sit with the unknown without letting it turn into panic, pressure, or self-doubt. Learning to sit with uncertainty doesn't mean you suddenly feel calm about it, meaning we're not just going to ground ourselves and just, temporarily feel that relief. It means that we're going to stop trying to escape it. And for most of us, the goal isn't going to be comfort, right? It's welcome in, Amrita. For most of us, the goal isn't comfort. It's tolerance. Welcome in, Shanti. It's learning how to stay present even when answers aren't available yet. And that can look really simple, right? Basically, if we just, whatever questions we have in our head, whatever's floating in our head, we basically could just say, hey, you know what? I don't want to answer anything. I don't want to deal with the voices in my head right now. But again, it's a lot easier said than done, right? Not responding immediately just to relieve that pressure as well, some of these actions, also resisting the urge to explain yourself before you even know what you want to say. It's shortening your time horizon. Instead of asking, what does this mean for my future? You ask, well, what do I know right now? And sometimes the answer is just, I don't know yet. And that's okay. For me, staying with uncertainty has meant trusting myself more than the outcome. As the saying goes, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, right? Because this is, along the lines of what I said about rushing, right? I mean, if you, and I think I brought this up in a live yesterday. I think this may have been in Brother Ravi's live. Someone had brought this up, or maybe I had said something along the lines of this, but it was, if, say, comparing yourself to your coworkers, let's say it takes your coworker 2 hours to finish something, and you take 4 hours to finish something. The feeling shouldn't be that, hey, I took too long to finish it. It should be that I took 4 hours to methodically get this work done that somebody otherwise may have taken 2 hours. And that's where the comparison comes in. It's almost like, hey, I mean, it's not always that, somebody is doing poor quality work or anything like that. People obviously develop skills over time, and they are able to develop shortcuts. We just haven't reached that point. That's where we have to then also, as I mentioned in the last episode, we have to trust our pace. It's not a race, exactly, Haren. And we also know that the kind of work that we're going to be getting done is going to be to our full efforts, right? Now, if we rush to get it done, we have to realize that the answers that we're going to have to face, right? I mean, there's going to be somebody asking, like, hey, how'd you get this done? The most obvious question, right, is going to be, how'd you get this done so fast, right? So it's instead of, to minimize all of those and just for our sanities, I mean, that's the thing, is that, you just have to trust that even if you don't have that clarity today, um, I'll know what to do when the next step becomes clear. Trust the process, exactly, Shanti. And that's different from being passive, right? People say that, oh, well, you're very hands off, you're not engaging, you're not doing this. It's not that, though. It's presence, right? It's choosing to stay connected to yourself instead of reaching for certainty just to quiet that discomfort, right? I mean, it's like, hey, I got to really make sure I know everything that I know about this situation before I start making any decisions, any actions, right? And there's a lot of strength in that, because uncertainty doesn't mean you're lost. It often means something is still forming. And learning to stay with that, without rushing, without self judgment, is a skill. Wanting to be perfect, but no one is perfect at anything. Yes, I mean, that's the thing. Perfection is one of those things that also, you can't ever really truly be perfect at something. I would say you can become skilled, right? I mean, you can feel the sense of perfection, I guess, to say that you've done this enough times that things will come more naturally to you. But being misconstrued and saying, hey, I think I'm just an expert at this, trust me blindly, that's it, right? I mean, that's the thing. We got to always be in this learning type mentality, that even if we know something, we could always learn more. And it's going to take practice, right? It's one of those feelings that we need to, one of those lessons that it's going to get easier over time. But basically, not knowing where you're going to be, you don't need to know where you're going to be grounded where you are, basically. To be grounded, sorry, where you are. Like, your destination matters, but you don't need to constantly be thinking about the destination. And exactly, we're not better than the next person, you know? Um, and sometimes staying where you are is the bravest thing you can do. So I'd ask you guys this, just kind of as like a weekly reflection. So the things that feel uncertain to you guys right now, um, what parts of those would you say you guys can let stay unresolved? Or what decision would you say that you guys are rushing into because you guys are uncomfortable not knowing? And if you guys arrive to the conclusion that, hey, I don't have any answers, that's okay too. You don't need everything figured out to be okay. As I mentioned earlier, some chapters are still being formed. Some chapters don't come with instructions. Um, and so we're gonna this is a little bit of a short episode again today, you guys. But this is the thing, is that these topics are generally I try to form them sequentially based on the previous episodes. And I know last episode we talked about pace. That episode did move at its own pace, and that's kind of what I tried to do um, in this episode as well. So you guys may have noticed that this is slightly shorter than last time. I'm going to try to keep these probably between 30 minutes to maybe 35 minutes at most. Only because I know these topics can get very, very heavy, if you will. And I want to give you guys time to reflect. But also, if you guys want to come up and talk, you guys are more than welcome to. You guys are more than welcome to chat. Pull up in the box if you guys want to talk. If not, that's always fine too. Your guys' comments, I'll try to address them as they come along. Who we got joining? What's up? Oh, you didn't have to leave?
Yo, yo.
What's up? What's up?
Bro, every time I pull up on top here, I can't even see the screen. It just goes black. Yo, let me just come off and come back on.
Oh, okay. It's because I'm using TikTok Live Studio, so it's not going to, I guess. I mean, can you turn on your camera? You should be able to turn on your camera.
Nah, homie, I don't got no shirt on.
Oh, okay. Well then, okay. This sound like the voice of God. Oh, it's because I've got the voice turned up a little bit. Go ahead. Now you can
Yes,
talk.
you all called. Thank you. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Where Kamala at? Where Kamala at?
Where's Kamala? It is echoing. I hear that echo. My bad. Hold on. Let me turn this down. Okay. All right.
Alright, bro. I was just passing through. You go chill, do your thing. Alright, bro. Later.
All right, man. Thanks for hopping in.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, you guys, so, if you guys missed any of today's episode, Brother Ravi, why the question mark? Is there anything you'd like to add? You're more than welcome to. Before I close out, you guys are more than welcome to join in and say a few little bits if you have anything else to do. Oh, there he goes. What's up, man?
What's up, my brother? Sorry. I thought. Man, no, I just want to give respect and everything to Raul. I don't say much. I don't want to say much. I don't want to take up his time, as always. But great job you're doing, brother. And I want to thank you for always doing this and bringing this to light. Because a lot of times, people we spoke about it, but it's like a lot of people don't do it. Like, so it's a good thing. And I'm proud of you. That's all I got to say.
I really do appreciate the support, you guys. This guy over here is my twin at the end of the day, I mean, from the day I met this guy, I knew one, in addition to just physically looking alike, we share a similar voice. So that's kind of been my biggest motivation, is that I can't lose that voice. So I will try to echo this guy as much as I can. And he is also part of the inspiration on some of the music that, in addition to today's episode that will be posted on YouTube, there's 2 audio tracks that are out there. And of course, I can't forget about Mims. She probably keeps this guy more in check, than anything. So, that's part of
he's
the
like,
that's part of the she's the
he's like
persona,
my,
as we mentioned,
yeah, she's my Buster Rhymes. Like she's hoo ha, got you all in check. So, but we're so much proud of you. We always talk about you, bro. We talk about the team and how you guys motivate us. You guys keep us. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to wake up and do what I gotta do. And it's like like you said, she keep me in check and she makes sure. And it's not like trying to say anything like check is a negative thing. It's like she keeps me in a positive mindset most of the times.
Right, right, and that's what matters, is having somebody that you can share the same, and we have that in the form of our family here online, but at the same time, that physical presence is what we also need the most.
Of course, and we're very proud of everybody stepping out of their comfort zone and just having that voice. Yeah, like you don't echo my voice. You have your own voice. Your voice is amazing, brother. And it's like hearing and everybody's doing their own thing. And Shiv and I want to have Shiv come out and do more, but step by step.
Small steps. Yeah, we talked about that. We'll get to that point at some point. It's still early in 2026, as we keep reminding ourselves, and everything will eventually come to fruition. It just we have to trust the process, as Shanti also mentioned earlier.
Yes, exactly. And Shanti she did great on her live as well. It's like,
yes, that was also a breakthrough for her, and that's the thing about this platform is, as Brother Ravi mentioned, that breaking out of our comfort zones and talking to the level that we do is difficult. It's one thing to talk about these things, but then it's actually one thing to actually apply them. We don't want to contradict ourselves in what we say. That's the biggest thing that, when we go public with any information, you want to practice what you preach, as they say, but without being over the top with it. And that's, I think, what we collectively are able to do in this family that we've created here. We all have a voice. We don't let one voice overspeak the other. And we are all learning a balance. And that's really what it comes down to, right? I mean, the family dynamic is such that there's going to be disagreements. There's going to be motivational talks. There's going to be a lot of things that we come together on. We just have to realize that we have the same voice. Like Brother Ravi said, we don't have to echo each other, but we have to make sure it's heard.
Yeah, that
So,
it's and this guy deserves his own show. Besides this, he deserved a whole show. Like his impersonation and he had us laughing the whole damn. I never laughed so much from 4 o'clock to 11 o'clock. I was laughing because this, I couldn't stop laughing. I think I lost like 10 pounds just by laughing. But
and that's part of what we do here too. Is we just keep everybody entertained as best we can, because life throws a bunch of stressors at us. There's a lot of curveballs that, especially early on in the week, early on in the year, whatever time frame it is, we just have to learn how to get through it. And the way to do that is by talking it out amongst our peers.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, let me just jump down, brother. I'm very proud of you, and keep doing what you're doing, and can't wait to hear the next topic. Can't wait to see what else you talk about because always, it's like anytime we need something, it's like I always reach out to you and you think it's like it's like you have this wealth of it's like going into a vault or a library and be like, hey, this book, and I was like that's you're the book. Like you give that information and I'd be like, hey, bro, what is this and thing? It's like, because a lot of people know I can't pronounce some words and all that shit, but I'm not a scholar or whatever. I just connect with hearts. That's all. But it's like, I'm very proud of you and how you've grown on this platform, and you keep growing every day, and you're an inspiration to us as well as the rest of the group. But you're an inspiration that you know you keep us going. You keep us motivated as well. And we talk about you all the time. So don't
I really do appreciate that, and the support goes both ways. Obviously, anything anything you guys need, I'm always there. Obviously, this family that we have created in such a short amount of time too. That's the thing that really I think stands out to me the most, is that we don't need to know anybody for a X amount of time. It's not the length of time that matters, it's the quality of people and the relationships that we formed. um, and the things that bring us all together, that we've all found, music, any kind of just motivational speak, just anything going on in the world. That's what I think are the pillars of this family here. And we will try to do everything we can to keep that alive, obviously. But you know just keep doing what you guys are doing as well. I appreciate the support. Mims and brother Ravi over here, um well, I don't thank you guys enough for one, accepting me into this family. That's the biggest blessing I think every day, um is just being able to share my voice. um so that's the biggest thanks that I could give you guys.
exactly. And I'm part now. I'm part Gujarati, even though my bloodline doesn't say that, but I'm part of the Guju community. So you know, because the Gujaratis have accepted me. So I'm very proud to hold that and hold that flag and hold that banner, and I'm very proud.
Yeah, see,
Listen, family doesn't come by blood
Shavang and
alone; it
I
comes by
and Tulsi are all gonna be there,
yeah,
like one of us.
yeah. And family doesn't come by blood alone; it comes by love. That's what I feel.
Yes, it's a place of love, accepting, understanding, and at the end of the day, we don't want to see you without that. That's the biggest thing.
All right, brother. I'm not going to take any more of your time. I'm going to jump down, but
Yep.
proud of you.
um and so, like I said, you guys, today's episode is going to be online on YouTube. In addition to today's episode, I have 2 other tracks that have been released. You guys can check those out as well. But until next time, you guys, like I said, that's you guys could refer to, just anytime you guys feel uncertain about what's happening, you just got to trust that it's all going to happen. Whatever we do is going to eventually come through. We can't rush ourselves, because when we do that, it leads to imperfections, it leads to self-doubt. But stay positive, you guys, and I will see you guys next Monday. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week. And we will check in throughout the week as much as we can. Have a good one, you guys.